Hi everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time it is for you. Today I thought I would give you a talk on medicinal herbs, and my subject is going to be mullein, or some people pronounce it mullein, depending on what part of the country you're at. So let me first of all start off with, here's what it looks like. Okay, I've recently discovered mullein, which some of you might think that's a bit odd, but here in the West, it doesn't just grow everywhere wild like it does back east or even in the Midwest. But I'm going to try and grow some here on my property this year, since I found out about the medicinal properties and the advantages of this plant. And I'm really excited to get some growing and try it out for myself. Actually, my youngest son is trying to quit smoking. So I've recommended that he take mullein leaves and roll them, dried mullein leaves, and roll them like he would like you'd roll up a cigarette. And he's going to give that a try. And we'll discuss that in my talk here and see if that will help him out. So I'll keep you updated on that. I hope he sticks with it. I'd love to see him quit smoking. I quit smoking several years ago, actually. But for me, it wasn't hard to quit. I don't really think I had an addiction to it because I didn't smoke that often, but I just stopped, just one day said, I'm not smoking anymore, and I quit. And it wasn't difficult for me. I know some people have a lot of difficulty quitting smoking. I was one of the fortunate ones that I just quit cold turkey and didn't even bother me. But I know my son's going to have a struggle with it. So we'll see how that works out. So mullein, the upsurge in popularity of this natural cure over the last 30 years has led to the discovery of many medicinal properties in common plants. Mullein is one of these plants whose healing properties were known in ancient times, but fell out of favor with the development of modern medicines. The Greeks used to use this in Europe to cure respiratory problems. A native to Europe, mullein spread to North America, where it was grown in gardens, which still is, and where it grows in the wild as well. So you can go out in some places in our country and just harvest this really awesome medicinal plant. And one thing the reason I want to try it out here in the West, in the desert, is because I understand that this plant is a very hardy plant and it can grow in poor quality soil, which is what I have. I have really terrible growing soil. But as long as it gets plenty of sunlight, it should prosper. So I have planted some seeds. They haven't come up yet, but I understand it takes like 20 days for them to germinate. So I'm only in, I think, like 5th or 6th day. So hopefully I'll get some to germinate, and then I'm going to plant some and see if I can grow my own mullein plants. And I'm going to put them in my herbal plant area and see what happens. And there are some purposes for this that I'd like to discuss with you. It's a natural treatment for allergies. Allergies are considered a mild medical condition, but this doesn't distract from the fact that having allergies can be very stressful. I know myself during this time of year, especially when it's getting close to spring, that the alfalfa fields and things around me, I do get a bit of hay fever. And I'm hoping that making a mullein tea can relieve me of some of these allergies. I'm really anxious to try this. It brings relief from allergic attacks. And this natural medication seems to guard the moist skin of respiratory tubes against allergic disturbances. So if you drink a cup of mullein tea every day, that's supposed to help ward off some of the allergies that affect your respiratory system. And it could help treat asthma. Some asthma sufferers take it daily and claim that it makes their asthma symptoms less severe. It will not cure asthma, but it really helps with the asthma symptoms. They claim they can breathe more freely and they cough less frequently. However, due to an absence of conclusive scientific studies, it's irresponsible to tell anyone with asthma to stop using their inhaler or other medications and just rely on Mullein. Mullein will help you with your symptoms, but if you have asthma, please do not think it's a cure, because it is not. It will help you with your symptoms, but please continue taking your inhaler or any other medications that the doctor gave you. Very important. It can assist people to give up smoking cigarettes, like I told you earlier. Mullein tea or even smoking Mullein can be of assistance. I call it Mullein because I'm not from back east, but I understand it's called Mullein, so excuse me if I say Mullein. It seems to strengthen the lungs by protecting them against allergies and other irritations that come along with smoking. Smoking Mullein, if you roll it up into a cigarette and smoke it, helps to relax the lungs and gives the psychological satisfaction of not having to make a complete break from smoking. The psychological addiction to smoking is just as bad as the physical. So keep that in mind. If you smoke Mullein, you're not inhaling cigarette smoke. You're actually inhaling something that will heal your lungs and help you get past it. Now, this is kind of a embarrassing subject to touch on, but you know, it's a medical problem that a lot of people have, and this can be used as a cure for piles. If you don't know what that means, it's referring to rectal swelling or bleeding, like hemorrhoids could be considered that, for example. Mullein leaves are an effective medication. It also treats varicose veins, as if anybody out there has issues with those. Smear Mullein extract over the affected areas where you have varicose veins, and it will help to lessen the effect of the veins and perhaps even heal some of the vessels that have ruptured. But keep in mind that since it does have hairy leaves and it could irritate your hands while preparing the compound, it's a good idea to wear gloves. If you're going to rub it on your skin, wear gloves, because it can irritate your hands because of the hairy leafy leaves. It helps rheumatism and arthritis patients. Lubricate the skin around tissues of aching joints, like if you have elbow pain. My hands hurt a lot from arthritis, so I'm going to rub it all over my hands to help that out. But this is I'm going to be using the extract. I'm not going to be rubbing the bare leaves on my hands because, like I said, it can irritate your hands. Or you can rub a poultice over the joints. Take the leaves, crush them, put enough water into them to make them thick, you know, like a paste, and put a poultice on your tissues affected by the arthritis or your aching joints. So, or you can take it internally as a tea on a daily basis if you have arthritis, and see if that will help you out. It contains valuable nutrients, and it's in the top 3 herbs for supplying nutrition value. It's high in calcium for bones and dental health. It has magnesium for keeping up energy levels and muscle and nerve actions. It This is another embarrassing issue, but you know, people have this issue, so it needs to be addressed. Incontinence issues. This is one of the most embarrassing health issues that people have. It affects many senior men and women, not just seniors, but you know, any age group can have this problem depending on, you know, what's going on with your system and your health issues. In this case, you would want to use the mullein roots. Fall season is the best time for extracting the roots. After you clean them and dry them, you grind them in like if you have a coffee grinder, something like that. Grind the roots into a fine powder. And then you can make them into tablets and take 2 tablets every day, but you have to take it with food because it will upset your stomach if you take it in this way. It's also good for pains in the ear. No, I didn't know this. This was new. It's effective for earaches. If you make an oil from the flowers of the mullein plant or mullein plant, mix this with liquid extract of garlic and St. John's wort. So you make a nice liquid. You mix these 3 liquids together. Warm the liquid to body temperature, which is 98.6. And then you just use an eyedropper to put drops, several drops in your ear canal. And that should relieve the pain. And also, it's a good medicinal use, and that it will kill bacteria that's causing your ear infection. So that's a good thing to know. This was something new for me. I'm glad I found this out. I'm always looking for different things for ear infections and that kind of thing to add to my repertoire of herbal medicines. And this plant sounds like it's just amazing, and I'm so anxious to see if I can grow it out here and actually use it on myself for different, you know, whenever something comes up, and see if it works for me too. But I've heard so many people, especially people back east, use it. And hopefully I can get people out here in the West to use it too, if I can get the plants to grow, and maybe I could spread some of those plants around. There's a real concern over bacteria developing resistance to antibiotics that are manufactured due to overuse of antibiotics in our society and in our systems. Mullein extract helps to destroy the E. coli virus, or not virus, bacteria, E. coli bacteria, and Staphylococcus bacteria. And it's even proven effective in some of the bacteria that causes lung diseases. So anyway, that's my talk today. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe learned a little bit something. I'm really anxious to get this plant growing, and I'll be showing it to you. I was going to put it in my herbal garden. I didn't realize it was such a large plant, as you can see from the picture that I put up. So I'm going to have to make a little bit more room for it than I thought I was going to have to. I don't think it's going to just fit in my entire garden. So, but it grows in poor soil, which is what I have here in the desert. So I'm actually going to increase my garden space and make a spot just to grow the mullein. Hopefully the critters will leave it alone. I'm going to fence it and take some precautions. But I have a lot of issue with underground critters, so maybe I can grow this. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to put a couple of them in my tire garden, but they are big plants, and see how that works. And I may have to set up a large raised bed garden for them if they can't survive in just putting in the soil. But I'm going to try both. We'll see what happens, and hopefully I can grow some. And you try to grow some too. I know you can order seeds online, which is what I did. This is a very beneficial plant. I highly recommend that each of you, and they're nice to look at too. They're attractive plants. So put 1 or 2 in your yard and have them available for medicinal purposes. A lot of people have them in their flower gardens. So that's my talk today on medicinal herbs. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to try to do this every Friday if I can. Talk about herbal medicine that would be helpful to all of us. And I will be showing on how I prepare some of my medicines as well. So stay tuned. You have a great day. Everybody be safe out there. And much love to you all. Have a great day, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. And stay careful about everything around you. Pay attention to what's going on around you. And please prep as much as you can with your food stocks, your medicine stocks, and whatever else you need to resume your daily lives in case supplies get cut off and you need to be self-sufficient. So you all take care. I love you. Have